everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. I am Daniel, and I'm so glad to be here with you. On my right, I have Miss Dawn Beaverson, and we're so glad that she has reluctantly agreed to be here. And on my left, I have the wonderful Mr. Joe Gilmore, and we'll get to him here in a moment. Whether you're listening to this on the go or watching this, we're so glad that you are here. This podcast is just a behind-the-scenes look at things going on at Timberlake, a chance for us to connect with you and let you know what's happening in the church, and a chance for us to highlight some people in the congregation. But before we get to any of that, we have to give you the sponsor of the week, and as you can guess it, some pool noodles. It's summertime.
Yeah, it is.
And today is really nice weather, but this week it's going to get hot.
I saw that. It's like 95?
90 some degrees. So hopefully you can get out in the water. But the other reason we have this is BBS is coming up soon.
It is.
And right now, as we speak, some amazing volunteers are working at building some prototypes of stuff that they're going to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
It's under the sea or
Scuba, I think.
scuba around
Under the sea is
under the
copyrighted.
sea.
We can't use that.
Yes, so scuba, but that's under the sea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have some decorative pool noodles that we're going to be using, and we hope that you will enjoy the summer, but also as we get ready for VBS that you'll get excited about that. But we'll get to that in a moment as well. So we can be done with our noodles here. There we go. Let's recap Sunday. We start out with a recap of Sunday. This past Sunday was a good day. Let me just get back there in my mind.
In your mind palace?
And there it is. I think so. Dawn, how was your Sunday? What did you do? What did you do Sunday?
I just came to
You were
church.
along, right?
I was here, yeah.
I was like, I think I saw you.
I met some new people in the foyer. That was good. I enjoyed your sermon. I mean, I always love the song service. It's good to see the Morgans here. It was a good Sunday.
Yeah, that's great. Joe, how was your Sunday?
It was good. It was good. I was running a little later. I helped out in the middle school, so I had to skip my hot chocolate because I was running a little late. And so then I'd go home and I'd pick up my wife and daughter, and we came back for second service and had a good time.
So you come early, volunteer with the middle schoolers, go home, pick up your family, come back to church.
Yep.
It's a little here and there.
It is, but luckily we only live 5 minutes away, so.
Perfect. That
And I got to meet your baby Sunday. That was sweet.
Yeah.
What's precious?
I did not.
You've met her.
I know, but I didn't know that she was here.
Yeah, she's been here every week we've been here since she was born.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm not going to leave her at home.
Yeah,
Not yet.
I guess
Not
that
yet.
makes sense. Not yet. She's not old enough yet.
Yeah, the dog's not quite responsible enough.
No, not quite. This past Sunday, we continued in our Intentional Family series, and we talked this week about the boundaries in singleness and in marriage, especially specifically when it comes to physical intimacy. And those sermons, I love to preach. I was trying to be as cautious as I could be, because it wasn't enough of a Sunday where I was like, hey, parents, leave your kids somewhere else for this sermon. It wasn't that bad, but it was also enough that was like, okay, you got to kind of be cautious with how you say things.
Yeah.
And but if you missed any of that, you can go to online tlcc.church, or you can go to YouTube or the Facebook page, and you can catch up on the lessons and the series so that you know where we are. One of my favorite things about Sunday, if I can just briefly share this with you, is Cheryl, Morgan, and Ben were here on Sunday. And for those of you who you've seen and know around our church family, they lost their son, their brother, last week in a car accident. And my favorite thing about Sunday is they walked in the church building, and they were about 2.5 hours away is where they were, Steelville, Missouri. And Cheryl's like, I want to be with my church family. Mm-hmm. So they drove up, and they walked into the lobby, and I saw them there. At the corner of my eye, I was talking to someone, like, all right, I'll get there in a minute, I'll go over. And then they were just mobbed by people. And then for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, they just stayed in that same spot, because everybody just kept loving them, coming in, hugging them, talking with them, praying with them. And I was like, that's a beautiful picture of the church. and what the church should be. And we know we all grieve in different ways, but that was a beautiful picture to see. So thank you all, especially those of you who were there and loving on them and continuing to pray for them. It's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the TLCC top 3 that you need to know. The top 3 things this week that you need to know, and I have the official paper right here.
Oh man,
Brian did not let me go without the official paper.
There you go.
it's actually typed out. Like it's not handwritten.
Did you see that?
It's official.
This is a very official. The first thing is I'm gonna take these a little bit out of order here. Okay, on June 30th. Okay, so which is the last Sunday in June, I believe. We are going to have our second annual Barber Community. Last year was our first.
Okay.
Did you go?
Yes.
There was
I think
the
so.
barbecue night, and we had a little competition on it.
It was super good.
We ended up having to move it inside, and I can't remember why.
I was out of town that week, so I don't know.
There's something going on, but it was so much fun.
Let's blame the rain.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And it was a chance just to hang out, eat good food together, and we don't do a ton of church-wide events because sometimes that's just logistically hard to do.
Yeah.
But I love just being able to come together. So we're not doing a competition with the barbecue this year. We're going to have some games. We're going to have some things to do. But it really is just a fellowship night to encourage one another, to have something to do. We're encouraging you to bring a lawn chair because we're going to try to be outside. Bring a side dish or dessert. The church is going to take care of providing the meat. And so bring something to share, a side dish or a dessert. That'll be June 30th at here at the church building. And I believe it's at dinner time. I think it's at 6 o'clock. I think it's 6 o'clock, but we'll let you know for sure. The second thing I want to let you know about is VBS, which is coming up. Every year we do a donations list, and Dawn can speak to this a little bit since she is a little bit more involved with the donation list than I am. How does it work? What do they need?
Well, there's fish all over the walls at the church for one thing. So Mary has written down a list of things that we need, and you can pull a fish off the wall, or they've also made an Amazon wish list. So you can go on Amazon, order something, it'll send it right to the church. Sometimes that's easier because then you don't have to go to the store, pick it out.
Yeah.
And we were talking that the budget's always a little bit, I think last year we were way over budget on VBS. So this helps us out big time. If people donate a few things, then we don't have to
That's good.
buy them all.
One of the coolest things is when a kid walks into the building and it is decorated to the max, and it looks cool, and it puts you in this kind of mindset of being a VBS. And to do that, like you said, you got to offset the budget. So there are fish on the walls in the lobby. And but if you are like me, and it's a lot easier just to get on Amazon, check your email, because we sent out an email from the church account, so make sure it's not in spam or anything. Yeah. There's a QR code that you can scan. It takes you right to the wish list. You can buy something. It sends it automatically to the church building.
I believe the QR code's going to be attached to this video as well.
Oh yeah,
he was going to post it, so.
We'll put it in the comments here, and that would be so great to help out. The final thing is coming up on Father's Day. We're going to have our 5th or 6th annual Father's Day Classic. Which what we do is in the front parking lot, there's snacks, there's games, there's some classic cars, and it's just a fun day to celebrate dads, and also a great day to enjoy. So that they'll have...
Does that start at a certain time, or just go till a certain time?
Typically, they get started setting up, but the goal is it's really in between the 2 hours.
Okay.
So as first service is leaving, and as second service is coming in, that's when it really happens. They'll have some snacks and treats for the first service guys as they come in, but for the most part, it happens in between the 2 hours. And then afterwards, there's usually stuff left over as well.
Of course. Yeah.
So that really is around 10 o'clock is when that really ramps up, and then goes until second hour. But we're really excited about that. And the reason I saved that for last is that is why you were here.
Oh, yeah?
Did you know this?
For my classic car collection.
Your cast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you go.
My Subaru Outback.
That's what it is.
For your father's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get to why you're here, I like to do this with everybody that's on as a guest. I give you 60 seconds.
Oh boy.
And imagine we've never met, never seen you before in my life. What do I need to know about Joseph?
Okay.
Who are you? Like, what do the people need to know?
Okay.
You got 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
You ready?
Right.
On your mark, get set, go.
I'm Joseph Gilmore. I am currently a tech support person at the Moberly School District. I have been going to Timberlake here for a couple years. I recently had my first and only kid, my daughter, Juliet, and she is a month old today, actually.
Aww.
That's crazy.
She is super awesome, and yeah, and I have a dog and a wife, and
In that order, or
actually no, actually I did have the wife first, and then I got the dog. It's her dog.
it's her dog. Okay, good.
And,
You got 20 seconds. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's everything.
You nailed it. 45 seconds.
All right.
I joke that when I had my dad on the podcast, he did his in 12 hours and 32 seconds. He just kept going. And when Salonique was on, he did it in 10 seconds.
Oh.
He's like, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and a follower of Jesus Christ. Boom, and he was done. I was like, dang it.
Okay.
I didn't even say that. I didn't even throw Jesus in there at all.
Would you like to, just real quick?
He's pretty cool.
You like Jesus, all
There
right.
you go.
That's good.
He's a 10 from me.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. So with the Father's Day Classic coming up, you were asked to write some thoughts down about being a dad, as a new dad.
Yeah.
Before you share about that, I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about your own dad, about some of the experiences, and just kind of get a picture of who you are. So tell me about your dad. Tell me about the relationship you have with your dad, and then how that shaped what you thought about, what being a dad could be like.
Okay. So my dad is super awesome. He's a diesel mechanic. And he owns his business, so he's always worked on the farm where we live, and so he always also made a very big point to be able to raise us according to the Bible, according to Jesus, and so we were homeschooled all 12 years. There's 5 of us kids, so I'm the oldest. And so I was homeschooled all my life, and
I was laughing because for some reason I was thinking high school's only 4 years, man. But you were including all of it.
So yeah, homeschooled all 12
there's
years.
there's the homeschooler math right there.
What math?
Math?
I don't do that. So I grew up going out and working in the shop after I was done with school, helping him with different vehicles, different trucks that he was working on.
Yeah.
So I like working with my hands, and we would spend hours talking, just going through, talking about life stuff, talking about car stuff, talking about all the things, talking about Jesus stuff. Yeah. That was one of our favorite topics, was different things from the Bible.
That's good.
Especially once I got to Bible college and started helping him.
Yeah.
We would start talking about the deeper things that I was learning at the college that I had never thought about, and I don't know if he'd ever thought about, but we had never talked about it, so had to talk about it then.
Yeah.
He always did a really good job of raising us to thirst for that knowledge, above all else, mostly. I didn't grow up in youth group. They took it upon themselves to treat us in almost everything. But he's a jokester. He's a prankster. He likes to make fun of you.
Yeah.
He likes to poke fun. We're a very sarcastic family. And
good.
So we like to have fun with each other. It's always funny whenever I run into somebody who did not grow up like that. I have to tone it back a little bit.
Very much so. Very much so. So how did that, as you got married and you thought about starting your family, how did your relationship with your dad, what did that do to inform or get you excited about, or, kind of give you the idea of what having your own child would be like?
It kind of scared me, I guess. because I could see how much thought and passion he puts into raising his family. And I always want to live up to be like, your dad's your first superhero, right?
Yep.
So I always wanted to live up to that. And so I don't know how much it prepared me for being a dad of a newborn.
Yeah, the baby's not really yours yet.
Yeah.
Give it some time, and then there's always that period where it belongs to mom for a while, and then there's a period where like, okay, it's dad's.
Now I can do something.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I've learned is
you're on diaper duty for a while.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Maybe sleeping duty a few times.
Oh yeah.
Were you scared of parenting, or do you remember being like intimidated by it?
In some ways, because I have a brother and we argued quite a bit growing up, and so I had twins the second time around, and so but we didn't know what they were going to be until they were born, and I just remember thinking, if I have twin boys, I don't know what I'm going to do. I am going to be so afraid. And then they turned out to be twin girls, and I just remember laying there thinking, thank you, because I was a little bit
twin
afraid.
Boys would be crazy.
That would be so crazy.
It is too crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but it's worked out fine for you.
So far, let's not say yet.
Then I had my grandsons, and I found out I like boys.
Boys are great.
Boys are cool.
I think there is there's always a little bit of fear, and either because you want to live up to your parent or you don't want to make their same mistakes, but there's also like a naivety kind of mindset of like, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you're kind of just thrown into this thing, and they're like, here's this baby, take it home.
Thanks for staying.
Was that moment weird for you where they're like, goodbye, and you like leave and you're like, am I allowed to take this thing home?
It still feels weird sometimes. It's
you walk in and you're like, whoa, what's that thing?
What is that goblin? Yeah, no, it's a little weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Remembering, I can't just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can't just go sit in the living room and sit down and watch movies, play video games, whatever.
You gotta think about another life.
I gotta hold this thing in my arms most of the time.
But one thing I've thought of as I get older, like when I was 20, I didn't know any better. You just do what you do with your children. And then when you get older and you look back, like, I cannot believe I did that. I can't believe I let them go out and play in the yard and I didn't go out with them and watch them.
Yeah.
But you don't know any better. And they survived.
They do, absolutely.
The world changes, and so some things were okay back then. My mom was telling us about times where she would the science said lay them on their stomachs or something like that, and now the science is like don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you lay them on their head. So tell me,
that's how you get the cone head going.
That's it. You gotta push it back.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you were asked to write a couple thoughts about parenting, about being a father from your perspective, was it weird to try to write something being so new of a dad? And then what was like the takeaway? Was there anything, by sitting down and actually writing out your thoughts, was there anything that you were like, oh, okay, yeah, I really do think this?
Yeah, it was super. I felt like it's like whenever you're talking to somebody who knows so much more, I'm like, I don't actually know anything. Why are they asking me? So I definitely had that thought. But whenever I was sitting down, I was like, I feel like there's a lot more challenges I shouldn't say it.
Say it.
As a dad, because I feel like Marissa has this intuitive understanding of what Juliet needs. I can follow all of my logical steps and it's still wrong. And I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm finding out that I'm not good at dealing with people or things that can't see reason.
Yeah.
And
a newborn don't really do that.
No, weirdly enough.
Are you crying?
That's why I deal with middle schoolers and high schoolers and not children.
Babies.
So that was interesting to try and write out those thoughts of, I feel like I'm not doing enough, but I'm doing everything I can.
Yeah.
And Marissa has to remind me of that a lot.
What is the thing that in reminding you a lot, what's the thing that she keeps saying?
She just keeps saying, you're doing great. You're doing everything that you can perfectly. And that doesn't, and just because you can't do all the things you think you should does not mean you're not a great dad.
And when your kids get older, it still applies.
It doesn't?
Yeah.
Then
Because you don't have complete control over your kids ever. What? So, just so you know.
that's dumb.
I know.
I think every parent, no matter how long they have been parenting, there's always the thought in your head of, have I done enough? Am I doing enough? And I think that what you said is really powerful. Is the reminder of you're doing what you can, and if you have the right heart with the right motivation, at the end of the day, my children doing well, a lot of it does depend on how I raise them and train them, but it doesn't all. Because God loves my child more than I could.
Right.
Which is a crazy thought.
Yeah.
Like he loves my children and cares for them more than I could, and he's going to lead them. And so if I just do my part and do all I can, God's going to do all the things I can't.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing you say, which is a good reminder for any parent at any stage of life.
Yeah.
Whether it's a newborn, a crazy house where there's young children, or kids are moved out, and how do I relate to them as adults? How do I love them and love their children, my grandkids? I mean, that's where you are right now.
Yeah.
Which is a challenging place to be.
It has been fun watching my dad turn into a grandpa.
Well, I was just about to ask you.
He's loving that.
The last question was, what's been the best thing, the funnest thing about having a baby?
A little pride, like getting to show her off.
Yeah,
She's a cute baby.
Yeah, she is a very cute baby.
But watching my parents, I think, turn into grandparents, because she's the first grandbaby on both sides.
Oh wow!
So
this baby's gonna be spoiled.
yeah, yeah. My mom has said already that my dad held her more in the first 2 weeks than he ever held us. All 5 of us kids combined.
Listen, listen. I think there is a good saying that if you choose not to raise your, how does it go?
I think that's actually,
you know the saying.
If you choose not to raise your kids, then you will raise your grandkids or something
I've
like
heard that.
And if you, I forget how the saying goes. You have to post it in the comments of what the saying is. But it's if you, something about you get to, if you just try to enjoy your children and not train them or raise them well, then you'll have to raise your grandchildren. If you raise your children well, you get to enjoy your grandchildren. And I think that saying breaks down because there's always a little bit of both in there. But that is a cool thing to watch your parents become grandparents.
Very much fun. And watching him, going back to like watching him grow while I was growing up and his relationship with my sisters, I've been excited for that daddy-daughter relationship for a really long time. So I'm excited.
And you got it.
And I got it. It's just a few years down the road.
Girl dad. It's so good. It's so good.
I'm having to learn from Trevor.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so good. It's so good. Well, thank you for sharing some of your thoughts. I know that when you first become a parent, there's all sorts of excitement, but then all sorts of anxiety of what am I doing? And it's a good reminder, not only your wife has a lot of wisdom to hear like you're doing enough, but also a good reminder like you're not alone. You talk about Trevor and people who are just a little further than you, and a church community that loves you. So
Timberlake has been super helpful already, and I can't imagine how much better how much help they're going to be in the future.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that. Appreciate it.
We love them.
All right, so today we have Dawn's going to give us the blessing of the week to finish us out. But before she does, I just want to say thank you for joining us. And
Thanks for having me.
if you have some encouragement for this guy here, he does so much. He helps with our middle school students. He has been such a big part of the youth group and has just been amazing for this congregation. You and your wife do some incredible things here. So thank you very much.
The congregation does some amazing things.
I agree. All right, Dawn, take us away. What's the blessing of the week?
Well, this is my birthday week, and so
It's our birthday!
I know.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So anyway, I have worried that I would struggle with getting older, and I mean it's not fun getting older, but I appreciate all the days that I've been given because the alternative is you don't get those days, and I do appreciate that. Anyway, I found this verse today, and this is like a perfect verse for me. It's like Psalm 71, 6-8. From birth I've relied on you. You have brought me forth from my mother's womb. I will ever praise you. I've become a sign to many. You are my strong refuge. My mouth is filled with your praise, declaring your splendor all day long. So you all know I love to sing, and I love this church. I love all the people, and so you guys have been so nice to me. I've gotten nice cards and letters, had a good peach pie for lunch today, and some pretty flowers. And so I guess my blessing is just to thank you guys for all the love that you show me, but show it to each other as well. And thank God for all the days that you've been given. So
beautiful. I like it. It's perfect.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this week on the Ripple Effect podcast. We love you all, and we can't wait to see you next time here on the Ripple Effect podcast.
Same bat time, same bat place.
That's it.
All right.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
bye. Remember how you turn it off?
You started.
I know.